channel.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining me for part 2. In our last installment, we learned what kind of picture makes a good subject matter for Georgia O'Keeffe pictures. In this episode, we're going to take the pictures that we took and use them as reference to start our own art project. You will need a printer, a piece of regular paper, and a pencil. Let's get started. I'm working on my computer right now, getting ready to print out the first of my 3 pictures. I need to choose a photo that works well in black and white. I select this one. In the built-in photo editing toolbar, I find the levels and proceed to lower the saturation, removing all color. Increasing the contrast and the exposure will make this photo easier to use as a reference. Now it's time to print. Check that the image is scaled to fit the entire paper. Then hit print. Here we go. Success. There's my 8.5 by 11 printout of my photograph, black and white. And here is the paper that I'm going to do the drawing on, the same size paper as the printout. So when we transfer our shapes from the reference to the art paper, we can use graphite transfer. Now we don't have any graphite on this side, but we sure can put some on. I'm going to sharpen up my pencil here and add a thin layer of graphite all over the back of this page. Okay, once we're done, we can then transfer our drawing to our drawing paper. I'm going to line them up. Now, certain things from this picture I don't need. I don't really need these background spots. I don't really need this other plant. I really just want the leaves that I want. So I'm only going to draw what I want because it's my picture. So as I press on the front, it's going to create a thin drawing onto my art paper. It's very faint, but it's there. I am tracing over the faint lines for the sake of the video. If you can see your faint lines, you do not need to do this step. We are going to use several different shading techniques to achieve our goal, which is matching the tones and textures from our reference picture. This technique is direct. Using the side of the pencil, I deposit a thin layer of graphite on the art surface. This tool, called a blender, tortillon, or stump, smears the slippery carbon atoms in the graphite into a more even coating. Blenders are readily available and inexpensive. Made from rolled paper, they can also be assembled from scratch materials at home. In this second shading technique, I deposit graphite in a thick patch on a separate surface. I use the blender to transfer the graphite onto the art surface. Matching the shapes, tones, and textures found in the real world in our art takes patience. It is rewarding, however, later. Direct and indirect shading are used together to achieve the subtle and drastic tonal differences that you will find in any good reference. Switch back and forth as needed. The third shading technique is called reductive because with the eraser, we reduce or remove graphite and reduce the value or lighten the tone. My preferred method here is to use indirect transfer for the medium values or midtones, reductive erasing for the highlights, and finally direct shading for the shadow areas. For me, these three distinct values working together give the exciting illusion of depth to objects. The beauty of choosing a subject with simple to shade parts is that each part can be attacked separately. In the end, the pieces will add up to a whole. We are left with the choice of background elements. I chose a simple black with this magic marker, and I think it makes the main character stand out. What do you think? I use a rollerball in black to clean up corners and edges. I decided I wanted the shadows in my plant to be a little bit darker, so I located a charcoal pencil. Because the charcoal is so dark, I'm being extra careful not to use too much. I apply the charcoal only in the deepest, darkest corners, then use the blender to smear it out. At this point, I cease to rely on the reference picture, and I allow my own aesthetic sensibility to dictate as I balance the dark and the light. In the end, I'm happy with my results, but I wonder, how can I bring more of myself into these pictures of nature? If this lesson was useful, if you did the lesson, please post pictures of what you did in the comments below so people can see not just mine. We want to see what you guys did. I want to see what you guys did. Hope you guys have a great day out there, and tune back in next time for part 3, where we're going to dive into some color and change up the scale from one of our pictures, make it either smaller or bigger. We'll see. Take care.